Here, I've never been here before. We did very minimal research. We each had one suitcase, all our camera equipment, and we just moved here, kind of cold turkey. It's been three and a half months now. There's business here, there's people with money here, which makes our lives easier as a marketing agency, and the taxes, of course. So that was kind of the main reason, and also the location. It's, like I said, we spend a lot of time in Asia and Indonesia, and it's so much closer than Canada. The first month was a blur, and we realized there's no money there. Started reaching out through DM. The networking's insane. Everyone you meet has an interesting story. Everyone you meet has done something interesting in business, and there's always something to learn from. Business is just a video game. There's levels. There's level 1, 2, 3, 4.
Once you get there, then the challenge is how do you maintain, right? Today, I'm sitting down with Brandon from Dubai, one half of a duo that left a successful business in Canada to come all the way to Dubai and start from scratch. Brandon, very nice to have you on the show. Welcome to BXB. You've been here for 3 months. What was the hardest day since you got here?
The hardest day? We actually had one day in the apartment after we were, it was probably a month and a half in. We were working, keeping up with our client stuff, working a lot, but we weren't getting anywhere in Dubai. Our face wasn't out there. We knew people needed our services, but no one knows we're here. And we had just kind of had one big moment where we realized we got to get outside. Like we got to get people seeing our faces. So that's when we started reaching out through DM.
Take us back to the time you were in Canada, you decided to leave. What triggered it?
Like I said, we had an agency. We left the agency, social media marketing agency. And at the time we were really thinking, let's go somewhere in the world and do the same thing because we have the blueprint. And originally we were honest to God thinking, let's move to Bali, start an agency. We spent a lot of time there. It's our favorite, but then we realized there's no money there. There's no business there. But during our time spent in Bali, one thing we saw and one thing we learned, I guess we learned what we wanted for the future. We saw these people who had a business based in Dubai and were able to travel back and forth from Dubai to Bali. And I think that was just kind of always in the back of our minds. So when we were thinking, where should we go to build this new agency? Dubai was just the perfect opportunity. I mean, there's business here, there's people with money here, which makes our lives easier as a marketing agency. And the taxes, of course. The networking's insane. Everyone you meet has an interesting story. Everyone you meet has done something interesting in business, and there's always something to learn. It's simple in the sense of when you play a video game, there's levels. There's level 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you get to level 1, you've gone through the hurdles. You know which ways to go. You know which things to unlock, and you get to level 1, and then you die. You go back, you know how to do it again. Then you get to level 2, then you die, then you avoid the things that killed you, whatever. Then you go to level 3. So we've been to this level before. We've done these things. We've hired the people. We've got clients. We've scaled. We've had clients not like what we do. We've had clients love what we do. We've built a team before. So we've done all this before. So we came here, and to be quite honest, we're at the stage where we've been before, but we are reaching a new level. Where this new stage we're in is something that we've never done before. It's kind of levels we haven't touched. So it is just like a video game in the sense of once you get somewhere, you can restart in the sense of move to Dubai, not have a crazy amount of capital and get right back to where we were in 3 months per se. It's very simple. That's actually how we met you. We do interviews with business owners online, and that allows us to connect with the business owner. Yeah, we do the interview, but we also sit down for an hour, talk about our business, learn about you, and post it online so we can tap into your audience and your audience taps into us. So that's something that's gotten us outside. We've been going to networking events once a week. That's been amazing. That's been getting us clients left and right. And it's only been snowballing because one client comes to us and then 2 more come from that client. So like I said, we're right back to where we were, but it took us realizing we got to get outside, show our face, because people don't even know we're here. They don't even know we can help them. So. And
did you build your network of people in Dubai while you were in Canada, or did you come to Dubai and then go to these networking events and start building?
We did our best. We had a few connections, and I could get into that later, but those connections have brought us so much business. But other than that, we honestly didn't have too much. It was more so making connections here. And just showing people who we are and what we're here to do.
So you pretty much came here with no connections. You put some videos out and you DM'd people on Instagram, and that's how you got people to understand what it is that your company does and the service that you guys provide.
In a nutshell, yeah, thank God we did come here with business, so it wasn't like we came here and just had nothing. So we came here with work, we came here with income, and we came here with a team. So we took it slow. And I think I was telling you this before. One thing we were really focused on coming here is just doing things right, acquiring the right clients. So we took it slow and made sure that while we're networking, while we're meeting these people, and while we're onboarding new clients, these people are high value clients. They're good people and they're people we want to work with. Whereas a mistake we made in the past was just saying yes to everyone. And sometimes no client's better than a bad client. So that's one thing we've been working on, I guess, network, and just making sure these people we're taking on are wonderful to work with.
So interesting you say that. No client is better than a bad client.
Yeah, you'll learn the bad clients cause more headache than if you just said no in the beginning.
I mean, since you've been in Dubai, what is something that you had to pretend you were okay with just to get by, but deep down you were struggling with?
I have to think about that one. I would say always pretending business is good. That's something we always have to do. We have to position ourselves as a winning agency. Sometimes things are great. Sometimes things are amazing, and others things suck. And you're scared. You're nervous. Clients aren't happy, and that's the hardest part, because on the outside we have to make everything look good, which feels like you're being fake, and it feels like I wish I could just say what's actually happening, but that's not the case. And keeping that persona on and doing that has gotten us to where we are, because our positioning is so good. When we're doing amazing, people know, and when we're doing not so amazing, people think we're doing amazing, which has gotten us to where we are. I think that sums up your question.
Excellent. So ASAP Dubai, tell me about the life. Tell me about a day in the life of a founder of ASAP Dubai. What does that day look like for you?
People honestly ask me that all the time. There's no set day. I don't have a routine. We try our absolute best to wake up early every day and have a routine, but to be completely honest, there isn't one. We could be on a roll of waking up early, getting things done, spending a 4-hour block of getting deep work done, then doing all our meetings, then going to shoots. But then we'll end up at a networking event and be out for drinks with a potential client till 2 a.m. And then we sleep in because we were up all night, but it was the best night because we just acquired a lot of business. Then our whole routine's messed up. So there's no day in the life. I think we do spend our days taking care of our clients, taking care of our team. That's obviously the number one priority. We're in the gym every day. We're honestly the most consistent that we've ever been. Me and Boston, my business partner, we're taking our health and diet very seriously. So I think just making sure the team's happy, working on client work. We're in the gym, networking, going to meetings. There's no set day, to be completely honest. We're just whatever's needed to be done at the time, we go do.
So it's you and your co-founder here in Dubai, and you have a team back home that does the back end stuff, video editing and all that, right? Yeah.
We have a team remotely. They do everything on the back end, but we're the only ones actually in Dubai, and we're looking to obviously bring some people here to start filming. But it was, like I said, we've only been here 3.5 months, so we had to build a base here. We had to get our name out here, build the company. And now we can start bringing some people in with some visas.
Excellent. And how did you land your first client in Dubai?
First client in Dubai was from a networking event.
Okay.
So we were at the event. We obviously just started talking. The networking event we go to is wonderful. What they do at the beginning is they make you stand up, say who you are, what your business is, and it's a room full of like 30 people. So what that does is allow you to target people pretty much after, because you know this guy could be of interest to me or not. And at the networking event, we sold ourselves before we sold any of our business. People ended up liking us, liking our story, like what we're doing. And sure enough, after that, we had a couple DMs, signed a client. And that was a big moment for us, because it didn't come from a referral in Canada. It didn't come from anything we built. It came from the name we've built here and what we've done here. So yeah, that was that moment, and then it's just been snowballing ever since.
So super organic. You show up in Dubai, you go to a networking event, 30 people, everyone pretty much raises their hand, say what they do, and then you connect with someone that actually wants to do business with you.
Of course.
And would you say that this is similar to how things are done in Canada, or is it different?
Not at all. It's completely different. Canada's it's not the same. It's not the same environment. There's not as many entrepreneurs here. There's so many entrepreneurs. Everyone's so eager to meet each other, help each other, work with each other. In Canada, it's a very competitive environment. For example, we literally work with other marketing agencies here, bigger marketing agencies who realize they can use us for content creation. We work together. They openly say to their clients, we're working with ASAP. Here's what they're charging. We're charging extra. And we're going to be the creative side. We're going to bring the infrastructure, and work with you guys. Whereas Canada, that would just never happen. Everyone's so closed. They're, like I said, competitive. They don't want to share business in Dubai. Everyone understands that there's enough money for everyone. There's enough money to go around. So everyone just works together. It's a very different world.
And like, what would you say is a deal you got in the most unexpected way?
Probably a couple of deals we're working on now. Like I said, the stage we're in business is a level that we haven't been to over this past couple of weeks. We're definitely unlocking new numbers and doing new things. But I think I mentioned it before. That one connection that we did have before coming to Dubai, he actually owns a marketing agency here. He's a partner at a marketing agency, a massive one. They have like 70 employees or so. And he was contacting me back in Canada probably 9 months ago, actually looking to fly me out to Dubai and film content because he's never seen a model like ours. We make 30 days of content in one day.
That's so interesting. That's such a different model than what's here.
Yeah, that's what we're finding. People are finding that very interesting, and it's taken years to perfect it and have a team that can execute it.
So a whole month's content calendar for someone can happen in one day.
Yeah.
What does that process look like? Like, how do you make that happen?
So it's broken down. I mean, once you've decided that we're a good fit to work together, what happens is our team sends over a detailed form, and in that form, there's all the questions we need about your business, all the questions we need in order to understand your target audience, your content goals. You fill that form out. Our team then gets that information. We create what's called a custom content plan. And in that content plan, we don't just come up with ideas for a shoot. We come up with content pillars. And these pillars are pieces of sectors of content that are meant to last over the next 6 months, over a year to build your brand and build your business, build your personal brand. Once we've established those pillars, we've hopped in another meeting. We talk, we make sure we're on the same page. Then we come up with a more refined content plan. We book a day to shoot. We bring a team of videographers, photographers, models, influencers. And we crush the content in one day. And then if we're managing it, you get assigned a personal account manager. They do everything A to Z. They post on stories, alt text, captions. You don't even have to look at social media. And then other people like to look at their social media. So we just get the content back to you in 7 days, and then you have everything. So it's a process that it's taken years to perfect. It's very complicated, but essentially 1 month worth of content is 12 videos and 8 photos. And the way that's broken down is 3 videos per week. And then a photo slide per week. So we don't want to post 5-6 times a day. It's just 5-6 times a week. Sorry, it just doesn't do well. So we focus on those 4 posts per week. And then as we keep working with a client each month, we obviously figure out what content did well, what didn't, what worked, what didn't, and keep refining from there. So that's pretty much the model.
So, you're coming from Canada, and, pretty much the Western side of the world in terms of content creation is more advanced than where we are. Can you shed some light on that and tell us, how, I mean, that's just what I think as someone from Dubai, but what is the reality of things? How do you see content creation being done in the Western part of the world, US, Canada, versus the Middle East?
I think you're spot on. It amazes me because the Middle East, Dubai specifically, is so far ahead of the West in so many ways. Whereas content and marketing, you're so far behind, which I still don't understand why per se, but I think it's the perfect time for us to come in America and Canada. It's almost way too saturated. There's content creators everywhere. You don't even know when you're being filmed or not. There's people in the grocery stores making TikToks. Every business hires someone on their team to make content everywhere. They understand content's important, and it's flooded. There's marketing agencies left and right, content agencies, which are just kids in high school that are picking up iPhones and cameras and making videos. Like, it's super saturated. Whereas in Dubai, it's all the marketing agencies are still focused on billboards and focused on paid advertising and all these older ways of marketing.
But we had the 1 billion billion summit, right?
It's changing. It's adapting. It's turning. I think the second people understand the value of it and they see that it's a thing and that it's happening, it's a very easy sell, and it's awesome for us because all we have to do is sit down and have a conversation of why it's important and why your old strategies aren't working anymore, and they're sold. But
why do you think it's not happening organically? Like, why is there, why are we advanced as a country, United Arab Emirates? Let's talk about Dubai. Why would you say there are so many businesses in Dubai that are doing well, but they haven't actually picked up that they need content creation as a very important pillar in their growth? What do you think it is? Is it the founder that's not into content and that's why his company doesn't do it? Or, why is it still traditional as billboards and stuff? What is your take on that?
I think there's a couple reasons. One being a lot of these businesses have built success in Dubai without it. So they might be a little closed off in the sense of I've gotten to where I am today without it. I don't need it. I just think they don't know where it can take them. I mean, what levels it can take them to. I also think it might be the laws in United Arab Emirates. It's a lot more closed off. You can't just film anyone, which is amazing. But it's a lot more strict. Whereas in America and Canada, that's been long gone. Like you
can just film anyone without their permission?
Yeah, you can post it on. It's not good. But yeah, you can. It's your right to film anyone. Have your camera all the time, whatever it is. But I mean,
the business here would be focusing on filming something they want. Not
exactly.
Really. So
I just think that's a small factor, but I do think it's just because they have built success without it, and they're maybe a little closed off to implementing it into their business. But I like you said, the 1 billion summit was here. I think it is changing. It's adapting. It's moving very fast. People are understanding. Like you said, the podcast scene started in Dubai a couple of years ago, so that's relatively new. I think people are noticing, and I think it's just going to go exponentially fast.
If you had to look at the world as a map and you saw the different parts of the world and you had to put numbers on how far they are in terms of content creation, where would you say Canada is, Dubai is, and like a place like China, for example?
China's number one. They're
China's
on a
number one?
whole new level. Do you know what live selling is?
Yes, where people sell products. I've heard. I haven't seen it, but I've seen
the warehouses they have, and there's people on the street doing it. They are so far ahead. They'll have one person with 11 cameras on them, live stream 24 hours a day, shifts cycling out, selling clothes. We haven't even done that. West hasn't done that. They are so far ahead. They have WeChat. They have social media platforms where everything is on one. You pay your bills on there. You text your friends. You post on social media, and that's kind of the race between X and Meta right now. Anyways, but China's ahead. I think the West is not far behind. Still pretty far behind, but they're behind. And then I think probably Europe is after that, and then Dubai. I mean, that's a very rough guess, rough estimate, but China is number one for sure.
Wow, that's so interesting.
It is very, very interesting.
So
the
that
tech
person
there is
that's
crazy.
selling different items, they're selling to the same audience, or do they keep picking up new audiences? Like, how do they know that the product they're selling will fit the audience? Like, if you're selling cameras, then you sell podcast equipment, fine. That's pretty much in the same domain. But then they sell shirts and all like different products. How do they sell different products to? Is it to different audiences or the same audience?
It's I think they're just doing so much volume that the algorithm's so good it just puts it to whoever wants to buy that product. When we were in Bali, we knew someone who was working for a Chinese company, and her job was literally to live stream all day. She loved it. She thought it was very simple. The owner of the business gave them an extra budget when they're done to go out for drinks, do things, but it was because he was making so much money from their little live streams. They'd live stream 8 hours a day. And they were selling jeans. They were just sitting there trying on jeans, showing different sizes, doing whatever. But the algorithm's so good that I'm sure when you talk about something to your friend, it's on your phone 30 minutes later. It's too good. So they don't have to target anyone. They just have to be showing the product 24/7, offer discounts here and there, and people just buy.
So it's a warehouse and a content creation engine next to it, basically, which is someone going in and trying stuff. There's no need even for a retail shop, right?
It's crazy. The warehouses is just hundreds and thousands of people with their little setups of 10 different iPhones in product, and they're just running through it. So it's a whole different world.
And do you think we would evolve in this part of the world to be like that at some point?
Eventually. I think it's happening in the West very slowly. China's just way ahead of us, but I think it will happen because it's just the easiest way. I'm sure you've seen a couple stores in the mall where they have a model of they don't have all their product. They just have one piece of every item. They save money on rent. They get a smaller spot and they sell. That's already like becoming more of a popular thing, and it adds a touch of exclusivity. This is that on steroids. You don't even need a location. You don't even need a store. You need one person who's good at talking on camera, who can smile, who's good at laughing and can connect with the audience and share your product, and you're getting endless orders. It's a crazy method, and China's proved that it works. Amazing.
Interesting. Okay, take us back to that moment on your first deal in Dubai. Did you have to sell at a regular price? Did you have to undercut your price? What was that like, your first deal?
No, we kept everything the same. That's one thing I think I've learned over the past couple of years of business is stand on business. Don't lower your prices for certain things. That almost just positions you smaller, and it'll actually attract the wrong clients. So when we came here, we kept our prices the same. We know our margins. We know what we have to pay our team. There's no way we can lower, and we're not lowering for anyone. So we kept it the same. And there's lots of people who like I said, we've learned these things over the past couple of years. Okay, let's do 50-50, half up front, half after, 75-20. We just know this isn't what we do. We take full payment up front. We're going to crush your content. This is the price, you want it or not. There's no one doing what we do.
And you're saying in Dubai, the good thing is that you found people to kind of build on top of your price and sell your service to someone else, which is very complementary as opposed to like Canada, where everyone wants to work on their own.
Yeah, that's something something I was getting into a couple minutes ago, and we got sidetracked. But it's awesome because we get to work with massive agencies, and something we're working on. We're onboarding, like I said, a new level of things. Some of the biggest clients we've ever onboarded, and why I like it is because I feel like I'm just skipping levels. I feel like we're tapping into clients that would have taken us years to get to, whereas we're using another agency almost as a loophole to these clients. So a couple of the big ones we've worked with Velo. It's like a nicotine company, the multi-$100 million company. They work with this agency. This agency sees us. This agency openly says we're working with ASAP. The company understands, and then we get the contracts. And these are
and you're skipping all those stages of building that relationship because someone already has it. They just connect you, and then you charge your full price. You don't need to lower on your price. And someone can charge a markup because your service is good and because they have a good relationship anyways.
And it's not even a markup. It's what it is they're using us for the content creation. They're charging extra because they're the creative mind. They're the marketing agency who has a team of 70. They're coming up with the pillars, all the ideas. It's the easiest work we've ever done, but it's the highest we've ever charged. These are year-long contracts paid in full. This is a whole new level of business that we haven't even tapped into. They got clients feeding us now because they like our work. They have a pitch with Amazon, who's obviously Amazon's in the UAE, right? But they're not super massive here, but they're pitching our services to Amazon, and then hopefully we'll close that. But these are like I said, we're just skipping levels right now because we're closing these year-long contracts paid in full with companies that have 100 million, if not billion, Amazon's $1 billion company, right, which would have taken us years and years and years of scaling. So it allows us to kind of reverse engineer scaling, I guess you could say, close these contracts and realize, okay, now we have capital. Let's build a bigger team to take on these clients. Right. We already have the work. We already have the money in our pocket. We just need the infrastructure to take on the clients. So
speaking of clients, tell me a deal you thought was 100% happening and then it fell apart. What happened?
That happens all the time. Happens all the time. You never think you closed the deal until the money is in your pocket. Very constantly people commit. I commit to things and something happens and then you don't. It's very easy for someone to pick up the phone and say, yeah, I want to work with you. Let's do it. Okay, cool. I'm going to send the invoice and contract, and 1 day goes by, 2 days goes by, and that's sales, and it sucks, but no deal's ever been closed until you got the money in your pocket.
Look, a lot of people probably watching, most people in the world are doing 9-to-5s, which is, a steady job. You go to an office, you clock in, you clock out. They're not doing the 15 hours that you're doing. Why do you think they never get into entrepreneurship?
I definitely don't think it's for everyone. I think it was just something I've always wanted. I always wanted something different. Obviously, I like I said, I did 1 year of school. Just I think it was more for my parents, wanted to see it, wanted to try, wanted to really know it wasn't for me.
Your parents wanted you to try it?
They were supportive, but they knew I wasn't set for it. I was always doing, I did the whole drop shipping. I did day trading stocks. I used to sell clothes, sell stickers. Like I've done all the little side hustle things before it. Made good money drop shipping and doing those little side hustles. But obviously it was the safe route to go to school. I tried it. Knew it wasn't for me completely, left after a year, and here we are. But I think I always knew it wasn't for me. I think that's very hard to know, and even if you know, it's very hard to make the leap. I think it becomes a lot easier once you've proven to yourself and proven to your family and proven to your friends around you that it is possible. You've touched a little bit of success. You've built something, and then once you're past that, you're too far deep to ever go back. Like I could never think of doing things another way because I know too much, in a sense. Like I know how to get here.
So you coach your team not to trade time for money. But was there ever a time where you did that?
Yeah, of course. I've had jobs. I've had many jobs in high school and before university. But You just said it perfect. The second you learn to trade value for money, not time for money, is one of the most important things. And I can pinpoint exactly where the journey started. When we came back from Asia, we were doing teaching English online, doing a podcast that wasn't very lucrative. We picked up a camera. We were just filming for fun. I came home with literally no money, literally zero. Oh,
how old were you?
I was probably 18 or 19 at the time. We came home with literally $0 in our account. We actually lost a couple thousand on the flight back home because we had 2 vaccines, not 3 vaccines. We were supposed to come home with $2,000 or $3,000, but we came home with nothing. $0. I actually owed my mom money for the flight. So I got a job instantly. One of the most interesting, one of the jobs that interest me, and it was cold calling for a software
most
company.
people run away from cold calling. You found it interesting?
I've never done it before. It was sales. So I just got a job. I saw the perks, the commissions, if you do it. I did that for 1 week, absolutely crushed it. I made a bunch of sales, but the second after that week, all I realized was, oh my God, I can just pick up the phone and sell stuff to people. That was the moment where everything changed. And I thought, okay, I just need something to sell to people. I have a camera. I can make content. I started with real estate agents. I was doing 100 calls a day, calling real estate agents and saying, hey, look, here's some of the, I was selling them my podcast clips as here's the content I've made. Sure enough, I got a couple.
You were editing the clips?
Everything. I was doing everything.
Okay.
I was doing everything A to Z.
So you cold call them and say, hey, look, I can make you similar clips. Sign
exactly.
up.
I said, look, I can make you social media content. I can come in. I didn't have structures. I had nothing, but I'd called. Sure enough, a couple were awesome. I was doing real estate shoots with my phone at the time. I was doing everything, made a bit of money. Then a couple of the agents were like, look, do you have a business set up? And I'm like, no, I don't even know what that is. And then one of them actually helped me set up a sole proprietorship, which is just a one-man business. The business was my name. And after I realized I could just pick up the phone and sell stuff, after a couple months that was the most money I've ever made. I was making probably 7,000 or 8,000 Canadian at the time a month, which is more than any job could ever get me at 40 hours a week at that age. So once I knew that, I just kept investing in equipment, kept investing in the resources and kept building. And then sure enough, that's where I met Boston and we were doing the same thing.
Boston's your co-founder,
business
right?
partner. Yeah. Co-founder.
How did you guys meet?
We met in high school years ago. We've been friends for a long time, and we've been through this whole journey together. He left school with me, went to Asia with me, started a podcast with me.
School?
Yeah,
Really?
we did 1 year in university, separate universities, but then we left to start that podcast. We didn't know what we wanted out of life, but we knew that wasn't it. So that's what led us to coming home with no money, getting that job, starting this business, and here we are.
So you're saying, sales is the first kind of skill that you realized that you had. So you're obviously, I always classify people as builders or sellers. Back to, if I go back to when I was, even before university, I did this. I remember back in the day, I did a summer job where I worked for a company. I don't want to name it, but actually I did it for 2 different companies, summer jobs to make money. And I had to cold call customers. And, people reject you all the time. And then you learn that rejection is normal and it's part of it. But the minute I started doing that, I realized sales is a skill that can work in any industry. And it kind of helped me understand that I'm in sales as opposed to building stuff. I think you got the same kind of idea when you did your job. And then you said, why not just sell different stuff? But regardless, people, they glamorize entrepreneurship a lot. Is there something about it that really sucks that no one talks about?
There's a lot about it that sucks. It's really not for everyone. I wouldn't suggest it unless you're going for something different. It's not money we're chasing that will come very quick. And I think that's why a lot of people burn out. Entrepreneurs per se, they'll make their first bit of money, they'll go and spend it all, and then they're right back where they started. I don't value monetary things per se. And I am very grateful for the experiences I've had to understand that. Traveled to Asia a lot. I've seen these people that are the happiest humans alive, but they live in a village and farm rice and coconut and make zero money.
Yeah.
And then I go back to Canada and girls are complaining about their nails. But you learn that, and you meet people in Dubai, the richest people you meet, they have Lambos and they're like the most depressed, unhappy people. They're just not fulfilled. I think it's not money we're chasing. As entrepreneurs, it's freedom and it's the joy of building something that's yours, and creating long-term success. I wouldn't suggest it. It does suck. We're working constantly. There's no one to blame. It's always us. If things are going bad, it's our job to fix it. If things are going great, it's because of us, which is a beautiful thing, but it's also a scary thing. There's mentors or people you can ask for advice, but when you have a job, you can clock out. You can like stop thinking
Exactly.
about work.
Like check out.
Yeah, you can check out.
9 to 5, at 5, you're off. You switch your phone off. You don't really need to keep it on unless, it's a job.
That just doesn't happen in entrepreneurship. There is no clocking out. Sure, you can go out for a dinner and do things, but there's going to be things on your mind constantly.
So what is it that drives you? Sorry
No, it's okay.
to interrupt, but what is it that drives you if it's not the money? Is there like a certain thing that you want to get to, or what is that thing for you?
I haven't figured that out fully yet. I think I'm really working on just enjoying the process, because I know for a fact, once we've scaled, once we've hired a lot more people, once we've made our $100 million in the company, I'm going to look back on these times and enjoy them the most. So I'm working on enjoying that. I don't know what it is that fully drives me per se. I just think it's the chase. It's building something that no one around me has done. And just, I've always had this, I guess, urge to be extremely different. And I actually learned that from talking to ChatGPT about myself, because it runs our whole business. It knows me so well. And there was a trend on TikTok that said, tell me something about myself I don't know. And it was saying you thrive off being different and taking different paths than most people, and being successful with it, and showing people that you didn't have to go the route everyone else goes. And I didn't even know that. I wasn't even thinking that, but ChatGPT knows me so well.
You thrive on being different.
I think so.
If I had to give you a month off, no work, nothing, what would stress you out more? Having a month off where you don't do any work, or actually working that month?
Oh, not working. We talk about all that. Me and Boston talk about that all the time. I can't imagine just clocking out for a week, going to all inclusive, and not thinking about that. That would stress me out. Not even thinking about work for 5-10 hours stresses me out. But we do love it. It's not work. We enjoy every second of it. So I think until we've built, I guess, what we want to build, that's when we'll be able to clock out and maybe take a little step back. But right now it's hustle mode. It's grind mode, you could say, where we're just constantly working. We enjoy every second of it, and we do have momentum right now. So now is the last time to. It's the worst time to take our foot off the gas. Like we got
with all this momentum and hard work and 15 hours a day that you guys put into it, is there something that you lost because of this business?
Honestly, no.
Maybe like friends, family, relationships?
No, it's a beautiful time because we didn't have ties. We're young. It's not like we had relationships holding us down. Friends are supportive. We're in the age where we don't have to see friends every weekend, every couple of days. We have good relationships, and we're able to see them every couple months, catch up. Our family's super supportive. Obviously, I miss my dog back home a lot. I miss my mom, my dad, my sister, but they understand what we're doing, and they're more than proud of me and of us for doing this. And I think they understand it's for something bigger. And when we can go home after being here for 6 months with, not the money's a thing, but a lot of money in our pocket, we're healthier than we were before. We were in the gym, we're working on ourselves. We've hired people, we have a team, we have a reputation. I think that trumps all of it. They're more proud than anything. And I think I haven't lost anything per se, except time with my family, which sucks.
Yeah,
for sure.
But look, I want to ask you. You speak a lot about your partner, your co-founder, Boston. How do you guys make this business partnership work?
It's very easy for us because we were doing this before this business. Everything we do was together. He's the only person I know that speaks the same, thinks the same, and we use that to our advantage when we're closing a deal, when we're talking to people, anything we do. I know what he's thinking. I know how he acts. I've lived with the guy for years, traveled with him. We've lost all our money together. We've made a lot of money together.
We've lost all your money together. That's so interesting.
We've been through it all together. We've been through very hard times in our life with my family's health. He was there with things going on in his family. I was there. We've been through so much that it's way beyond business, and it's so much trust that it's not even sure it's a business relationship, but if everything went to zero, we'd still be building something else together.
But if you had like a serious disagreement, how do you guys handle conflict together?
Just get through it. To be completely honest, we talk about this all the time. We can honestly say there's never been, in our years of a business relationship, there's never been a serious conflict, more so like you didn't wash the dishes, like come on, leave the dishes, stuff like that, but nothing serious. It's way deeper than that, I guess. Like there's nothing. We're so tied in together. We have a business partnership where our names are signed on everything, and I think we want the exact same out of life. We want the same. We want to do things no one's ever done before, and we've been on a path for years now doing it together. So we're way too deep.
If say one of you guys wanted to quit, what would happen to ASAP Dubai?
That's not even a possibility.
Okay.
That's not, maybe down the line, but that's not. I don't like to think about stuff that's not going to happen in the near future. That's never going to happen. I can confidently say that. And if it did, one of us would keep it going.
Okay. No, interesting. If you had to sell your agency, how much would you sell it for?
I don't know if I would sell the agency, but not the name. We've talked about that. ASAP's so strong, and we see ASAP turning into so many things, and we built it like that strategically. ASAP Studios, ASAP Club. We could turn it into so many things, and I think I want to build that for a long time. But I don't know. I can't give you a number. There's no number that I'd be happy with right now for exiting. So I'd want to keep building it, keep selling it until it's worth a number that means we can both do nothing for the rest of our lives.
Like you said, you enjoy the process. So why would you think of selling something that you enjoy the process unless you didn't really enjoy the process, right? Or you got like an offer probably too good to be true. Probably then would be too good to be true. I mean,
the only way I ever see myself selling is to go do something else. If we were able to get capital, if we were able to get capital, someone wanted to buy the systems, the team, and the clients, and it was worth 50, 60, 70 million dollars, all that would mean to me is, okay, what can I do with that? Let me go build something else.
Where would you deploy that capital? And it had to be a more interesting project, obviously, for you.
Of course. I think there's a lot of years left in this, though. We're just getting started. So
do you think you would get to where you are today if you didn't have a co-founder?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. I think having a co-founder, having a business partner is so important. There's quite literally two of us. It's powerful. We've watched business owners scale by themselves, but we're moving twice as fast. When I'm sick, when I have to fly home and see my family, I have someone working just as hard, if not harder, that knows exactly what I know. That's a massive advantage. It's gotten us to where we are extremely quick, and I think I don't know what I would do.
The S&P 500, they basically, it's a group of the top, S&P 500 is basically the top US companies that represent an index. Only 4% of the companies there have single founders, like really? Elon Musk. Yeah, most of them have co-founders. And I think it's for the same reason that you're talking about, that, you kind of need someone to have a talk with, right? Imagine you get to a point where you have no one to talk to or share your thing with. Mm-hmm. So I'm always for having co-founders. Personally, my previous business and the one before, I think, I would not get to where I am without having co-founders. And simply because, like, who are you going to talk to when you're down, or like you said, you get sick and you have no one to, it just becomes really, really difficult.
I think there's someone who understands what you're going through, which helps a lot. And I do tell people this all the time: the highs alone suck, and the lows alone suck. I can't imagine going through the lows of this business alone. That would be a dark place. And same with the highs. Imagine touching your first bit of success. You make a good bit of money. You've hired your team, and then you're at the end of the day, you have to keep this persona that your business is running, and you're just alone. I don't see joy in that. I would rather do it with someone who gets the experience that I'm going through, and I can share that experience with. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. Now, doing this alone would be a whole different journey, and I don't know if I'd have the need to just keep it going.
If someone's stuck doing a 9-to-5 and they're thinking about starting a business, what's the harsh truth that they need to know?
That they're going to have to work the 9-to-5 for a lot longer than they think, to build up some savings and figure out what they want to do. I've always said this before. If I lost absolutely everything, had $0, I wouldn't mind working a 9-to-5 for 3 months to save up another bit of money and start something again. So keep working until you have a business plan, until you have an idea, figure out a way to trade your value for money, not your time, and once you're ready, go for it.
So interesting. So value for money instead of time for money. How do you build that value up?
That's something I'm still figuring it out. But I guess when we talked about being able to cold call and sell, videos, I knew that was value. That was value. I know it takes me way less time to go in, film those videos, edit those videos, and post those videos and make a couple $100 than it would for me to work at a factory on an hourly wage and make that amount of money. So once you understand that and you've proven it to yourself, it's very easy to keep adding value and keep trading your value for money. The second you trade time for money, you'll stay an employee and you'll always be an employee, if that makes sense.
I want to ask you, what's a rookie mistake that new entrepreneurs make?
What's a mistake I made? A rookie mistake that new entrepreneurs make.
So you said if someone's starting a 9 to 5, previously you said that if someone's doing a 9 to 5, they imagine that they need to work less hours to become an entrepreneur. I think people have an idea thinking that, if I become an entrepreneur, I won't have to do anything and I get paid and money will flow in. Is that true?
That's very true. That's a good way to put it. I think people don't know what they're embarking on until they do it. You see all those TikToks, you see people online making money online doing that. That is not the reality of it. And that's not the reality of real business. Sure, some people make a bunch of money on crypto or they sell something online and make money, but there's a good chance they're just going to lose it very quickly. But building a real business, building systems, building a team, and building your client base and a brand it's a never-ending cycle. And I feel like I've just started. But I think when people say, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to do things, they're looking to make money so they can go and be on vacation all the time and be with their friends, but that's not the reality of it at all. And that's why a lot of people start in last 2 or 3 months and then just go the safe route and get a job. And it is the safe route. Like I don't think it's bad to have a 9 to 5 job, and I don't think school's bad. I think if it's for you, if you're trying to be a doctor, if you're trying to do certain things, obviously you need school. If you want stability, if you want a wife, a kid, a dog, a backyard, and you want to take your son to hockey, that's a Canadian thing. You want to take your son to a sport every couple nights a week. That's great. Get a job.
We hear about hockey, but
yeah, you do. No, I think that's great. You can clock out. You can be with your wife, your family. But at this point in time in my life, I don't need any of that, and I enjoy what I'm doing. I just don't think most people know what they're about to do.
Before they become an entrepreneur. But what's like a mistake someone makes when they become an entrepreneur? The first kind of rookie mistake.
I'm gonna have to think about that one. First kind of rookie mistake.
Like, what is a big mistake you made the minute you became an entrepreneur?
Telling people too much, I think. Sharing too much, because things would be really good and then I'd share that and then a month later they wouldn't be.
So why do you think it is? It's because of like karma or fate, or do you think it's like a superstitious or a religious thing, or do you think it's more like, what do you think it is?
I just think there's nothing steady as an entrepreneur. There's going to be super high highs and there's going to be super low lows. I just think keeping most of it to yourself is probably the best way to do it, or with your business partner, with your team, with your family. I tell my family everything.
You need a co-founder or a business partner,
exactly.
Right? You don't want to be telling your friends stuff. Things are going good, and by the time they process that, you're already having a bad time.
Exactly. That was a mistake I made. Is when I back to that time I started giving content to real estate agents, to business owners, made $7,000 or $8,000 in a month. At the time, that was awesome. That was wonderful. I was a kid and I would tell all my friends, but then 2 months later, I wasn't making anything.
Exactly.
And then I'm like, oh God, now they just think it was a weird thing. And I wish I just kept it all to myself and said, yeah, this is good. I'm being an entrepreneur. Whereas now we've learned that we keep everything between us, tell my family everything, but friends know what we're doing. They know all that, but they don't know numbers. They don't know how much we work. They don't know anything. So I like it that way.
Yeah. And what's the worst business advice you've heard people give others?
The worst business advice.
Like, what is something you heard when you started, which is a general truth, but you realize it's completely not true?
Work-life balance. A lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners say that's very important, but I think when scaling, that's not important. I think there is no
non-important or non-existent. You say
non-existent or important in this time. There is no balance. There's not going to be balance at this time in your life, and you just have to let that go. You just have to completely understand that everything you're doing now is for yourself 20 years later.
And okay, fine. Then how do you stay focused when things aren't going your way?
That's when it's the easiest to focus, because you have to get back on track. It's easier to get off track when things are going well and things finally feel calm, because that's not normal. When there's things are going bad, you're not thinking about anything else but fixing it and getting it back on track.
You're in hustle mode.
Yeah.
And you're saying once you get there, then the challenge is how do you maintain, right? And that's when you usually mess up is, you talk too much, you tell people, you do something that's out of the regular because you're probably not used to that success, I would say.
You're excited. You're excited. And sharing too much is just, it's better to not say anything and then come back as a leveled up person than to be telling everyone everything along the way, in my personal opinion.
Okay, you've got 60 seconds to tell someone who's afraid of taking the leap into entrepreneurship something. What would you tell them?
Fail. Just keep messing up, keep failing, keep trying. Because it is like a video game. The more you die, the more you mess up, the more you fail. Now you'll know how to not make those mistakes again. And the more confident you will feel with everything else you do. I think being an entrepreneur is an endless journey. It's not easy. It's not hard. But the more you make mistakes, that means the more you know, the more you learn, the more you know what's good, what's bad, what's going to make you money, what's not, what's going to give you fulfillment, what's not. But the only way to find that out is to try everything and fail as much as you can.
And you keep saying that ASAP Dubai is going to be everywhere. What does that really mean?
It's just something I know because we're not going to stop until it is. We know we have a very strong brand. We're not like other random marketing agencies with a random name. We're more than that. And one super cool thing about our business is we get to work with so many business owners. So that means we've had the chance to take advice from so many successful people, clothing brand owners, huge entrepreneurs, people with a lot of money, people who've scaled successful brands. And one backbone of a successful business is a successful brand. So sure, we could have a lot of clients, we could have a team, we could have money coming in, but if we had like a weird, not recognizable name that no one would ever care about, scaling would be very hard. So that's something we valued in the beginning. We came up with ASAP. ASAP's the most brandable thing. When I wear this tracksuit with a hat on, everyone's ASAP. They want to know what it is.
How did you guys come up with the name?
We got a couple drinks, just thinking one night. There was a lot of other names, and I don't even remember how that came, but it was just ASAP. And then when we looked up that it wasn't taken, ASAP Marketing LLC, that was like, okay, that's it. That's our business.
It's a really cool name. It's like you don't forget it because it's ASAP.
ASAP. And it works perfect because we're marketing. Everything's ASAP. Everything's as soon as possible.
Content of 30 days in one day. That sounds like ASAP, right?
Yeah, everything's ASAP.
Where do you see ASAP in 3 years?
It's hard to think that far ahead. In 1 year, our goal is to be fully removed from the business. So right now that's not possible. Obviously we have a team that does things, but we've removed ourselves from a lot of the different aspects, the admin work, the editing, that sort of thing. But we would like to have a team fully built, multiple teams fully built, clients happy, and just be able to sit back and focus on building ASAP as a brand. Like you said, putting ASAP everywhere, focus on really building our brand. That's what we want to be focused on the most. The actual operations and the day-to-day, it's important right now. And our branding's not our branding, our content, our social media is lacking, and we know that. But it's only because business is at an all-time high. So it's kind of contradicting. We would like to put our full focus into that and build this business while we have a wonderful team of people who know exactly what they're doing. They're confident, and can all work together to actually crush the operations side of it, which is an extremely hard thing to do. That is not easy. It's easy to build a team of 10 barbers that cut hair and work alone, but it's not easy to build a team of videographers, editors, salespeople, and admin that all work together with clients, business owners, and people's money, without mistakes or without things going wrong. B2B is very different than B2C, and to build that team is hard. It's a very hard process.
So the way I see it is, you guys are kind of building that with clients, booking new clients, doing all of that. And then the minute you realize there's a repetitive task, you kind of look for someone to hire that can take that over. And then you want to go back to focus on your own content so that you can grow. So what does that growth look like? More countries, more businesses in Dubai?
I think it's Dubai first. We got to take over Dubai. It's ASAP Dubai for now. We literally notice it when, for example, back when we hired our first editor, hired editing, we took editing off of our plate. We now have double the time we had before, which means we're going to onboard 5 times more clients than we had before. And with those clients means we actually need more editors. So it's like a super, once we remove ourselves, we have way more time to get more clients to fill the editor's pocket and get another editor to bring him more work.
And work on your social media, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
But now we're just touching new levels that everything is a mess. We've only been here 3 months and we've done more than we thought we would in a year.
What's the biggest challenge you think in getting there?
In getting where?
To where you want to go in 1 year?
Time. Just training, doing things right, taking things slow. If you rush this process, it's going to crumble in front of you. If you hire the wrong people, if you build a team of people that aren't committed, that don't understand what they're doing, and they're just looking for a paycheck and don't want to be here long term to build something special, then they're going to be here 3 months and then they're going to leave and we're going to be right back where we are today. So I think just time. We're taking things slow. We're not saying yes to every client. We're not hiring every person. We're just building the team we know we need. And we're getting there slowly but surely.
Interesting. If everything you're working on collapsed tomorrow, what would you do?
Get a 9-to-5 job for 3 months, get some capital, and move to another country and do it again.
Interesting. But you chose Dubai out of all places. That's what I found the most interesting. Are you more afraid of failing or becoming irrelevant?
I'm not afraid of failing at all. But I don't think I'm afraid of... What do you mean by becoming irrelevant?
Not needed anymore.
By who?
Your clients.
I would find a new service, find some new value to offer someone and do that. I don't think that's a fear of mine either. So I'll know I'd figure it out.
So you're not
again.
afraid of failing because you know that's part of the process. And for anyone who got somewhere, they're constantly failing. People just don't see it because you don't hear about failure, right? You hear about
Success.
ASAP Dubai. Wow. You don't hear about all the stuff you tried before you got to ASAP Dubai.
That's a very good way to put it. I think failing is amazing, and it's the only way we'll learn. And we're about to fail a lot. We're about to getting back to where we are right now. We've done that in Canada. We've had this amount of clients. We've had a team this big. So we got here pretty seamlessly because we've made all the mistakes previously. So we know how to get here. We're hopping into a new level of things where we're ready to fail. Like we're gonna mess up. We're gonna do our
attitude. You know, I think for anyone watching, especially you're going in with an attitude of failing. There's most people, their biggest fear is, what will my friends think about me when I fail? What will my neighbors say about me? What will my partner say about me? What will, I think fear of failure is a big thing. You might not see it because you're an entrepreneur, but I think for many people, they're not so easy with failing. So
I guess a lot of people are afraid, but I mean, once you fail the first couple of times is super scary. Being judged. Even when we went to Indonesia and started a podcast, all my friends' parents, everyone was like, what are you doing, kind of thing. But once you just get past the fact of nothing really matters, like it doesn't matter what they think of you, and just do what you want to do. If you're happy, you feel fulfilled, and you're doing well, and you're on this journey alone. There's no one. They're not seeing the success of what I'm doing, but they're also not. I just eliminate all distractions. Don't think about anyone.
Interesting. I just want to talk about Dubai as a brand.
Okay.
You decided to launch your business in Dubai. Why Dubai, and how does that help you when you're working your brand, trying to sell it to someone out of Dubai?
We talked about this at the beginning. I think location, taxes, and people. Taxes obviously helps a ton just scaling a business. I think Canada's a great place to start a business, hard place to scale a business. The taxes are so high. The business owners aren't making as much money as they are in Dubai. So as a marketing agency, it's easier because everyone here is successful. I think it's a great place for people to support. Like everyone here is doing something big. They're doing something interesting, and they came here to make a life for themselves and make something happen. So everyone kind of works together and helps each other make that happen. Whereas Canada, it's just everyone's going to university, getting a job, and starting a family, which is happening here, but it's a very quick, fast-paced thing. Most people are here for a couple of years, in and out, grow a business, leave, which is just, it's fast, it's good. It's so good to work here. There's no distractions. Once you've seen the birds, you've been to the desert once, there's not much to do per se. For me, it's very easy to sit in my apartment and work all day, which I love. And then in the summer when it's too hot, we can go to Indonesia, go to Asia, go back home, see family. But it's a great place to focus and build
Sort
something.
of in the middle, right? Dubai.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of everything.
Brandon, you've been solid. You've shared your experiences, and I think your journey from Canada to Dubai is not just about marketing. It's about so much more. It's about taking risk. It's about being entrepreneurial, and you got a lot going on for yourself. You're going all in on this. So I just want to say, for all the people that are listening and want to reach out to ASAP Dubai, where's the best place they can find you?
You can find us on Instagram at ASAP Dubai. You can find us at asapdubai.com. And then my personal is Tex Brando. Everything will be there, and we're happy to speak to you.
Great having you.
It was great being on. It was a pleasure. I appreciate it.
By the way, if you've made it this far, you're clearly getting value. But 95% of you aren't subscribed. Hit the subscribe button to continue getting more interesting conversations like these. See you next time.